What's going on, everybody? My name is Andy. Welcome to the channel. All right, so today we are going to be installing the Last Fit lighting 3-inch LED pod lights. These are the HD. I will link Last Fit in the description below if you want to pick a set of these up. These should be pretty bright. We'll see that in another video. Today I'm just going to show you how to install these, and I will be installing them using the Trigger 4+ switch system. It is just a like a switch system that you run your wires to, but it is Bluetoothed into the cab, so the switches are Bluetooth, so you don't actually have to run any wires through your firewall. Now I will have to cut the end of this off and splice it into ends that will fit in the end of these, but that's no big deal. I do have some work I need to do first, because I am going to actually mount this switch system onto the fuse cover. I've looked around, there just isn't a good spot to put this in there. I've seen a lot of people actually mount these right here. A lot of people use like Velcro to do it, and I didn't like that, because I've seen like some really good Velcro when it gets hot start getting kind of slimy and kind of slide off, and I didn't want this thing falling off and falling into my engine somewhere. So I am going to use Velcro, but besides Velcro, I am actually going to screw it in as well. But I did buy some silicone to kind of put in the holes to keep that sort of waterproof. I know those covers aren't waterproof per se, because there's no like O-ring seals or anything like that in there, but I didn't want holes in the top of it. So I am going to put silicone in those holes to actually help keep the water out of that fuse box. So let me get you set up on the inside. I'll show you how I'm going to set all this up. I need to actually put an antifuse on this. We'll go over how you can hook this thing up in a minute after I start actually installing it, because there is a couple ways that you could actually hook this up. And if this was my daily driver, I would hook it up differently than I'm going to hook it up right now. But since it's not, I'm actually going to hook it up another way. I'm actually going to hook it up the way they recommend to hook it up. If it wasn't for that, I would hook it up the second way to hook it up. But let me get you set up inside, and we'll get all this stuff wired up, and then we'll come back out and put the lights on put the pod lights on the brackets that we installed the other day, and then we'll get the rest of it hooked up, and should be a pretty simple install, hopefully. So let me get you set up. I'll show you what all we're going to actually wire. Okay, so now we're inside, ready to do all this. I will show you what I picked up. I did pick up some industrial strength Velcro. It says it holds up to 10 pounds. I did pick up screws. I picked up a few extra in case I dropped them and lost them, because that is known to happen. I had some heat shrink, but I did pick up a little extra just in case. I picked up an antifuse somewhere. I don't know where the antifuse went, but I did have an antifuse here just a minute ago, and oh, here it is. I did pick up an antifuse. Got this from like Advance. I didn't even know Advance sold these, but did get the antifuse. I did get some silicone to go through those holes like we said. And here is what we're going to actually be tying the lights to. These are the cables that actually hook into these cables right here. You will need some zip ties to kind of dress this up a little bit. Here is the switch. That is Bluetooth, does not have batteries in it yet. But for right now, we need to connect the antifuse to the yellow wire. We will need to cut this wire right here and splice it into the wires for the switch. We'll need to mount the switch on the fuse cover, probably cut another slot in it like this for the wire to go through for the antifuse, because I did buy Raptor lights again. That video will be coming soon. Show you how I'm going to install them and hopefully fix the little lens falling out issue. So I'll probably just cut another one of those right there real quick so I can run a second wire through it, and I think then we'll be pretty much ready to get this thing installed in the truck, because after that all we'll really have to do is just mount the lights, and I'll probably take the lights off the brackets to mount them, so we'll just need to mount the lights. If you hear a little pitter patter, my dog's walking around back here. We'll actually take the lights off and then mount the bracket and then mount the light. I think that will be easier. And after that, we should be pretty done other than just tidying up the wires. So let me get the camera turned down and show you what all we're going to do first, which is probably go ahead and mount this trigger system to the fuse box. Okay, I do this stuff so that you all don't make the same mistakes I make. And I did just make a mistake, I did. But it won't matter. I actually just kind of hardwired this in with butt connectors. And I know there's people out there yelling, no, solder that. It's some lights, man. I don't think you're gonna get any kind of, reverb or anything like a radio would have come back through the speakers off this. So I think we're good enough right here with the butt connectors. But, so I cut these off these lights, which isn't a big deal because I still wired them in the same way. Might even get better connection that way, but there are these things in the box that actually plug into these that already have the ends on them that I just cut off to get. Like I said, I do this so that you all don't make mistakes. When I reach in there to get the other light out to actually do this, I was like, oh crap. But nonetheless, this will work. No big deal there, it will work. And I'm always going to run it off the trigger system, so I didn't need these anyway, technically. But don't make the same mistake I did. They actually provide a wiring harness with a positive and a ground. My bad. I didn't even look in the box. I did look in the box and I pulled these out, but I wasn't paying attention and I missed these. So please, if you're gonna do this, you can actually not have to cut the ends off like I did. But like I said, for my purposes, that won't make a difference because I'm gonna use the trigger system anyway. So now I think I've got everything wired up. All we need to do now is go outside and get it all installed and hook it up. Just hook up the positives and the grounds and everything and mount the lights and we should be ready to rock. And so let me get you set up outside on tripod and see if I can make some more mistakes. See you in a second. Okay, pardon my dirty truck, but I went ahead and put one side on and I figured out how to keep it from rubbing. We're gonna do this side the same way. So what you wanna do is you have a bolt, and it's starting to get a little dark out here, so we're gonna try to get this done today. The bolt goes in first, and then you have a washer that goes on next, a lock washer, and then a nut. So it should, this is kind of hard to get up in there like that, but if I can, oh, I dropped it. This is the tricky part. I know there's somebody yelling, hey, you need to do it like this, and you're probably right, but this is the way we're going to do it. Get in there. All right. I missed the washer. Everything went on but the washer. If I'm having this difficulty, you might too, so I'm going to leave this in there and let you see how I'm doing it. Okay, so I got the washers on. So now I'm going to try to put the nut underneath it. There we go, maybe. All right, there we go. Just that simple. But the cool part is once you get this started, like so, the bolt has these two raised places, or the bracket has these two raised places that hold the bolt in place, so you don't have to actually put a backup wrench on the top. So let me go get a 14 and we'll finish tightening this down. You can get a 14 in here. It is just tight. Just be careful so you don't hit your paint. I do want this scooted as far towards the inside of the truck as I can get it. Now you want to raise your hood carefully and see if it is going to hit. If it is, adjust. I'm gonna bend this up just a little bit. And right there, it is very, very close, but it isn't hitting. I may actually try to bend that bracket up a little more. And now we are clear. It is turned. You can turn the bracket just a little bit if you want a little bit more clearance. But right there, we're clear. It is turned off to the side, so it will be facing the ditch. And all we need to do now is just finish tightening it down, and then we're ready to mount our lights. Okay, next it's time to install the lights on the brackets. Now how this goes is you get a washer on the inside, a washer on the outside, then a lock washer, and then your bolt. And this is tricky to do, I am not gonna lie. I dropped several of these. I already got the other side on. The other side's the same identical way. But I dropped several of these trying to get this thing put in. The inside washer is the one that is hard to get on there. And actually, there's one already stuck to the inside of this one. So hey, life may be easy on one side. See, I already had one stuck over. I don't know how that stuck right there. We're not looking a gift horse in the mouth. We're just going to go ahead and use that one like that. And then of course the inside one doesn't have it. So there again, lock washer goes on, washer goes on, washer goes in between here. Oh my goodness. All right, I found that if you kind of get it, whew, oh my goodness, that's easier than the other side. I found if you kind of get it held by the bolt and then line it up, it goes a little easier. Then just take your Allen wrench, tighten them down. You'll want to snug them up pretty tight too. Kind of make this one pointed the same way the other one is. So it doesn't. I think that's about the same right there. We may have to adjust them a little bit. Like I said, we'll do a video of just the lights turning on and adjusting them and stuff like that in another video. But that's how you install these, and it's on there extremely tight and rugged. It ain't going nowhere. Okay, one thing I do want to show you, there are a couple of tie strap holes right here and one underneath here. It's going to be hard to see, and you can tie strap these wires to this hole to keep them from bouncing around, keep them out of your windshield wipers and stuff like that. So you will want to tie strap these right here with just, you know, like a normal tie strap and cut it off, and I'll be doing that right now. It'll be hard to show on camera, but there are 2 holes on this bracket to tie strap the wires to. Okay, time to hook up the switch. So I did put another hole right here on the box so I can run this wire through it. The reason I have 2, like I said before, is I am going to put my lights back on here, my Raptor style lights. Now this number 10 right here should be the fuse for the ignition. So what we are going to do is we are going to put that fuse in the bottom right here, because the bottom one should be the fuse that came out. That, and I need another 10 from over here. Put another 10 amp fuse in the top one for the trigger system. like so. And then we'll just plug this back in where it just came out of. We should be good to go. Run this wire back out of the box. Can't really route it great, but it should shut back just fine like that right there. Now all we have left is to put on the negative cable and the positive cable, and we should be good to go after that. So let me get a 12 millimeter and we'll put this on. The reason these are all gooey and red is this one was very corroded, and I did a video about that. It's probably not up before this one, but my terminal is actually a little messed up, so I couldn't actually take it off and clean it good, but I did put the stuff on it that should stop it from getting any worse, hopefully. But I'll probably have to change that terminal out. The good news is I did check this to make sure that I could break this free. This is nasty. I didn't think that through. But that's all right. It's going to be okay. We'll just take this wire right here, run it down right here. Tighten it back down. Then we'll do the same thing to this side, and then we'll plug up the lights, and that should be, we should be done after that. I forgot to put my fuse holder back. I'll do that at the end. All right. Okay. If I don't lose my fuse holder. All right, everything's back down, everything's tight. This fuse, this cover right here is probably not going to go back over that very well, but we'll stick it like that. Now I want to plug these lights into the 3 and 4 section, but I want to wipe my hands off first. Okay, so we have 3 and 4 right here. So before I get rid of all these wires, I'm actually going to plug this up, or not get rid of them, but before I do all these wires, I am going to actually, man, that didn't go on very well. That's tight. Let's see if we can get that more straight. There we go. I guess, yep, that looks like it got in there. That is some tight plugs. And I'll have to redo these wires, like I said. I just want to make sure that everything is working, and I'll actually like zip tie these together down in here somehow. But I just want to make sure everything works. Now we just have to put the batteries in the remote. The light should not come on if the car's not running, so we should actually have to turn on the ignition and then the light should work. We'll check that. So let me put the hood down, put the batteries in the remote, and see what we got. I want to get these up out of the way too. I'll probably zip tie all these right here so those don't dangle down here. Let's shut the hood, and like I said, put the batteries in the remote. We'll see if they work. Okay, so I'm not sure which one of these is 3 and which one is 4, but as far as I read, the red right here will show when it's on. So we'll just turn them all on. Lights are not on. Let's put the key in ignition. Not start the truck, but just turn the ignition on, and let's see if they work. Hopefully they do. Like I said, not sure which one's 3 and which one's 4. Oh yeah, there we go. Both sides are working, and those things are very bright. You can see right there, completely wireless. God, those are bright. Those are, even in daylight, they're bright. But what's cool about this system is you can not be in the truck and still have this on you and turn on your lights. So like if you're camping or something like that and you're not in the truck, you can actually run these to the battery instead of the ignition. If you hear a noise, you can flip that on and look around outside the tent to see what you see. You can also mount this in the truck. It is magnetic, and it just nests like that right there, and you can keep it where you want to in the truck. Now, I've not decided exactly where I'm going to mount this yet. A lot of people mount them on the console. But where most people mount those, I have a leather piece instead of a little like change holder. So I'm not sure where I'm going to mount this yet, but that's actually pretty cool, and it works pretty awesome. Now, I did read that these things come like generically coded to like 0000, and all of them come that way. So if you're around someone else that has one of these, your lights can start acting up a little bit. But there is a way to put a custom code in these to where the frequencies will not interfere. When I used to race RC cars back in the day, you used to have to do that on the old school ones, and then they went to like a spectrum system where it would automatically change frequencies. It's kind of the same thing with this, but you have to manually change it instead of the spectrum system doing it for you. But again, that's actually really bright. They both work perfectly, and I have two more switches right here that I can add, like a light bar, which will be coming, and something else if I choose to do so. So that's actually pretty cool. Okay, I also want to add that the switch system sends stickers with these, so you can put on them, you can label them what they are, so that you actually know which ones are which. I mean, not that you wouldn't, because you was the one who hooked them up, but there again, they do add these. Now, I will need to actually zip tie the cables in there so that they're kind of neater and not flopping around everywhere. But that's the last thing I need to do, and y'all don't need to see that because you can do your own wire management. You don't have to see mine because everybody may want to do it differently. But again, I'll probably put like front lights up here. There's actually like rock lights, ditch lights. They actually have them, it says ditch lights. That's what these are. So I'll put the ditch light ones on right there. And that way I'll know and everybody else will know which lights those are. They also have one for a light bar. Last Fit said they was going to send me a light bar. I just need to figure out what size I want and need. And then I'll be doing a light bar install on this as well. Again, I will link Last Fit in the description below to go pick these up. They look super bright to me. I can't wait to see those at night. Again, that'll be a separate video because this one got a little long on the install. But we'll do a separate video about driving down the road, looking at these things. I'll make sure that there's nobody around. I don't want to blind anybody, but we'll kind of adjust these and everything in another video, and I'll show you actually how bright these things really are. Again, I'll link Last Fit in the description below to go pick up a set of these. I'll also link trigger systems below if you want to pick up one of these switch systems. Makes life way easier without having to run wires through your firewall. All day long, prefer that over running wires through the firewall. After installing a ton of stereo equipment, that sucks. I appreciate y'all watching this video. Please like, share, and subscribe. We'll see you next time.